Hi guys. So what we're going to do today is mainly just review a few things, but I do want you to complete a few pages in your math journals. So if you have your math journal with you, I want you to open up to page 288, 288 that you see on my screen here. And when you get there, we're just going to go through a few of these together, but I don't have the option to draw on here, so I want to make sure that you are paying attention and you are completing your page as we go. So for number one, explain how you know that the pattern below is an example of a translation. Remember a couple weeks ago when we went over translation, rotation, and reflection. Translate means to slide, rotate means to turn, and reflection means to flip. So here it says a translation. So what I want you to do is look at this picture here, look at this picture here, look at this picture here, and notice how it's just slid over. They slide it because it's a translation. So number one, explain how you know that the pattern below is an example of a translation. On your line down here, you need to write, I know because the picture is slid over. Okay, so for number one, explaining how you know, it's because the picture has been slid over. Okay? B, draw the figure after it is translated to the right. So for B, they want you to translate it again. They want you to slide it to the right, which is over here. So all you're really doing is taking this picture and redrawing it over here because it's just a slide. Okay? If I'm going too fast, you're just going to need to pause the recording because I'm going to try to get through this. Number two, find the solution of each open sentence. So what that means is here we have the letter Y. Here we have Y equals. So they want you to figure out what Y is in this open sentence. So remember with denominators, those bottom numbers or those bottom parts of your fractions, they have to be the same. If they're not, you're going to need to make them the same. So for letter A, it says 6/7 minus Y equals 4/7. Your denominator is already done for you. So you're just asking yourself, 6 minus what gives you 4? So over here, Y equals 2/7 because 6/7 minus 2/7 equals 4/7. If you go down to C, it says 3/5 minus R equals 1/10. The denominators are not the same, so you need to make them the same. To do this, you're going to need to times 3/5, both the top and the bottom, the numerator and the denominator, by 2. So if you do 5 times 2 and 3 times 2, your new fraction is going to be 6/10. So now I have 6/10 minus blank equals 1/10. I know 6 minus 5 equals 1, so my answer here is going to be 5/10. Okay, and that's after I change that 3/5 to 6/10. Number 3, circle the numbers that are multiples of 6. I will not be doing this one for you. If you do not remember what a multiple is, you need to go in your MCA packet that we completed before you left and go to your notes and figure out what a multiple is. A lot of you get these mixed up with factors, so make sure to go into your math MCA packet and figure out what a multiple is to figure out this number 3. Number 4, insert parentheses to make each number sentence true. Well, you always need to first look at the equal sign. Both sides on each side of the equal sign need to be the same. So over here, I just have 42. So I need to go over to this side of the equal sign and make sure that this number sentence here equals 42 with putting parentheses somewhere. For the next one, see our equal sign here? You have to figure out first, what's 56 minus 21? And then when you have that, go to the next side and figure out where you're going to put the parentheses to make that side equal what 56 minus 21 is as well. Number 5, if you use an average of 7 sheets of paper per day, about how many sheets would you use in? So think about that. On a regular day, let's pretend we're in school, you use 7 sheets of paper. Now you need to figure out how many you're going to find in all of these. So 1 week, okay, well per day it's 7 sheets. And if there's 7 days in a week, 7 times 7 is going to give you this answer. For the next one, you're going to have to do a multi-step. 4 weeks. Okay, I know there's 7 days in a week, so 4 weeks would be 4 times 7. That's 28 days. Then you're going to times how many days by the sheets of paper. So 7 times 28 will give you this answer. Okay. Skip page 289 and go to 290. This page you should be able to do on your own. We went over edges, vertices, and faces before we left in our MCA packet as well. But here is just a little reminder of you to see or visualize what they are. So for number 1, it says how many faces does your rectangular prism have? It's not always going to show you all the faces. You need to pretend that this is just out sitting in the open and you can turn it and see the faces. So here I can see 1, 2, 3 of the faces, but you need to remember that on the back side of this, there's also faces. So I know that it's 1, 2, there's 1 here, 3, 4 faces there around the image, and then on the top there's 1, and then on the bottom there's 1. So there would be 6 total faces in this rectangular prism, which would be number 1. So make sure that you're kind of visualizing the whole thing, not just what's shown to you on the page. Okay, so far you need to complete 288, 290, and then we're going to skip 291 and go to 292, which looks like this. The object below has the shape of a geometric solid. What's the name of the solid? Remember, the difference between a prism and a pyramid is that a prism goes straight up on the sides and a pyramid goes to a point. Okay, so for this one, does this go straight up like a prism or does it go to a point like a pyramid? And you should figure out that it would be a rectangular prism because the bottom would be a rectangle here and it goes straight up like a prism. Number 2, draw the figure after it is rotated clockwise a 4th turn. So you're going to take this image and you're simply going to rotate it over here 1 time to the right, because clockwise means it goes to the right like a clock. So all you're going to do is take this image and you're going to turn it here 1 time to the right and draw your new image. For number 3, write a number model to estimate the answer. Estimate, 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 estimate. The number model's already done for you here. You are writing a new number model with an estimate. So I'm going to say that 0.97 is pretty close to 1 whole. So on this line, I'm going to write 1 times 4. I'll keep that because I know 1 times 4 equals 4. So on this line right here, you should have 1 times 4 equals 4. Then, you know your answer is going to be close to 4. You need to put the decimal in here to make your answer close to 4, which would be right after that 3. 3.88, because 3.88 is close to 4. For number 4, always remember that the bigger the negative, the smaller the number is. Remember, if we have a number line, the more it goes negative, the smaller it gets. So negative 12 and negative 19, you want to automatically say, well, 19's bigger than 12, so it must be that. It's negative though. So the bigger the negative, the smaller the number. So you would write negative 12 is greater than negative 19 because it's closer to the positives. Number 5, round each number to the nearest tenth. Remember your place value. You have your decimal, then you have your tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. So if you're rounding each number to the 10th, my 3 here is going to be my 10th spot because it's right after that decimal. So I'm going to write 2 point, and then I need to think, okay, my 3, is it going to stay 3 or is it going to round up to 4? In order to figure that out, you have to look at your next number. Okay, is it going to be 2.3 or is it going to be 2.4? If you're rounding up, the next number has to be 5 or higher. So this one is 2.3. It's going to stay 3, because it's not 5 or higher as that next number. So your answer here would just be 2.3. The next one, my 10th spot, is my 6. So I'm going to write 0 point, and then it's either going to be 6 or rounded up to 7. So I'm going to look at my next number. Is it 5 or higher? Yes. So I'm going to round my 6 to a 7. So my answer here is going to be 0.7. Number 6, a cinnamon raisin bagel has about 230 calories. So think about that. A bagel, picture a cinnamon raisin bagel. It has 230 calories. Now it's asking how many calories are in a dozen bagels. 1 dozen is 12. So here you're going to have to show your work. 230 times 12, show your work and write your answer on the line. And that's what you're doing in your math journal today. You're doing pages 288, page 290, and page 292. If you have any questions, make sure to reach out.